So Drew made these care packages for the students. So they come with a bundle of takui and some mojo that's already kind of somewhat split, and you just need to split it some more, and we'll show you how to do that in a bit. But these are for the students that are gonna be basket weaving, as well as I believe, the first 10 will be receiving an ovach in one of the in some of these boxes. So there might be a surprise in your box when you do get it. Compliments of Drew and the Tucson Indian Center. And today we're gonna be having some of the staff here with us to learn how to weave baskets. And this is gonna be the very first step. And the very first step is very crucial because it takes a long time for some people to actually do. It's very complicated, and if you have dyslexia, it's gonna be an issue. And if you're left-handed, you're gonna have another issue. But I'm just saying how it is, because a lot of people have trouble when they first start the knot. There's a variety of ways to start the knot. I only know of three ways on how to start the knot. And these knots that we learn they kind of goes back to our creation story, but because it's no longer winter, I won't be going into that detail at this moment. But if you do have any questions, just relay the information back to Drew, and Drew will shoot me an email, a text, a phone call, smoke signal, messenger pigeon, or something to answer some of the questions that you may have. So what we have right here is takui that I already pre-soaked. I had them soaking this afternoon when I got home for lunch. And so normally what I would start off with are the really short ones. When we went picking, I told the students that were with us in harvesting these plants is that sometimes you do need these really short ones when you first start your basket. Then later on you would need the longer ones. Some people prefer to start with the longer ones. It's all by the weaver's preference. So some weavers use longer ones like this. Some people prefer them thick. Some people prefer them thin. Me, I'm right in between. So sometimes when we do start, I use 6 pieces. So I'll take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So if you guys want to grab 6. So the more takui that you do grab or use or yucca, the thicker it's going to be. So if we just use 4 pieces, you're going to have a very thin tail or bahi. And if I use 6 because it's right in between of being thick and thin. And so what I would do is I would clean the middle. So we have different ways to clean it. My mom is different, the way she does it. My grandma was different when she did it, and I do it differently because it's just by preference. So I usually put the not pointy end in my mouth, and then I slice it towards my face, like this. So you want it to be thin, but not too thin, but you want it to be able to be kind of pliable so that when you tie the knot, it won't be so stiff. So I would do that to all 6 of my pieces. And it's good to use a dull knife, but it's still kind of sharp, but not too sharp. This one here has been used so many times that it's at the perfect sharpness. Like I can run my finger on here and I won't get cut.
Is there another way you can cut besides going to your face?
Yeah, my mom goes this way. And I don't like to because when I had my wisdom teeth pulled out, they took out those back molars, so it's kind of hard for me. And you go away from your face. That's how my mom does it. My grandma, she usually just puts it like on a table like this, and she does that.
She's smart.
But what I feel when I do that is that it doesn't come out a lot. It doesn't take enough off that I need or that I prefer. Then I have to go back in and clean it up some. And what I'm looking for is that the takui starts to twist. It has its own twist when you clean it compared to it being stiff like this. So there's two different, this is clean and ready to be used. This one's uncleaned and not ready to use. So it's like really stiff. This one's like paper. So if you want to fill that.
Could we use scissors? Just
Scissors.
to, instead of a knife? I'm just asking.
You can use a scissors, but it's prefer to use a knife. It's just because it's you can hold it with one hand without it trying to cut, like snap back on you. Yeah. So this one here, this knife, I wouldn't use this to clean with because it's really, really sharp, and this is what they would call a paring knife. And it's to take off the skin of an apple, of course, but it's still too sharp, and it's just gonna slice right through the takui. So like for instance, let's say I was trying to clean this one. It cuts right through. And that's what we don't want because it ends up wasting the takui as we go. So this is the hardest part of starting the basket is the knot. So the knot is the most crucial part because you want it to be sturdy. That's the foundation. So what I normally do is I take 3 in my left hand and 3 in my right hand. The first piece, I'm gonna lift up the middle one and slide one piece in. Then I'm gonna lift up the 2 outside ones and put another piece in. And I prefer to keep the edge, the curved part facing towards you. Then the last piece, I'll lift up the middle piece and put the last piece in there. Then I lay it down on the table or my lap and hold it down together and kind of straighten it out to that everything's in the middle. Like that. Then I hold it down with my middle finger. And so what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna pick up the bottom ones and bring it over my my pointed finger and hold it down with my middle finger. Then I'm gonna take the top ones, ouch, and bring those down and hold it with my thumb, like that. Then I'm gonna take these ones that are onto the left-hand side, bring it under the 3 that's being held down by your middle finger, and kind of leave it like this, kind of loose. Then I'm gonna reach in between my middle finger and my pointy finger and grab these 3 that are pointed to the left or to the right and bring it through the left loops. And now that I have them all there, it should have like a swastika kind of pattern. And you pull it together. Be gentle at first because you don't want nothing to slip out. But as soon as it gets there, you just pull it till it's nice and tight.